There are 3 platforms for the railway. They are also in the second floor. Some of the refurbishment seems different from the other places. For example, up above, there are some patterns on the columns. They are the local to ethnicity patterns. And those colors are unique to the ethnicity. They come from the Tujia rank up. The blue color and the yellow color are all from the rank up. So some of the elements seem quite ethnic at the first glance. And there are 2 beautiful paintings over there. That is about the mountains. And what about that painting? It's about the scenery in Zhangjiajie. Because Zhangjiajie landform has been listed as a World Heritage. So we have some local costumes worn by Tujia people. When they celebrate the local customs, those ethnic people will wear such costumes. They are singing and dancing in the painting. And Tujia ethnic people are dancing together with the Miao ethnic group. There is a lady holding a blanket, and that is an embroidery typical of a Western rank cap. So in this West Station, we can learn about the local folk customs and the natural scenery. Zhangjiajie Railway is put into operation today, and this is the first day of its opening. What is the number of passengers? Since it's the first day, there are 21 trains in total for today, and it can accommodate 3,000 passengers in total. Ever since the opening of this railway, how many more trains have the Western Station seen? And Zhangjiajie-related trains numbered 22, and
那确实也。
Now we are at the platform. Behind me, that's the first Zhangjiajie high-speed rail from Zhangjiajie West Station, and we are seeing passengers getting on board. Could I interview you? You must be the passengers of this train. I see that you're wearing a very beautiful costume. What is this costume from? This is Miao costume, and you must be wearing silver. Yes. So where are you going? We are going for an activity, and this train is the right time for that activity. So that's why you are well suited, and you must be looking forward to the opening of this railway. Yes, of course, this is the first high-speed rail train in Zhangjiajie. I believe that with the transportation, the local specialties will be sent everywhere nationwide. That's quite a vision. Thank you for your time. In Zhangjiajie West Station, there are many passengers looking forward to the opening of this high-speed railway. But the opening of this railway brings benefits not only to the station with a rising number of passengers, but also to the other stations along this railway line. For example, in the autonomous prefecture, there are some more stations. Today, we have invited the chief engineer, Mr. Wang, for the Zhangjiajie segment. Good morning, everyone. I am the chief engineer of the Zhangjiajie segment project. And behind us, this is the map of this railway line. There are several stations along the line. Could you please briefly introduce to us about the characteristics of those newly built stations? The line started from Zhangjiajie West Station, and then it reaches at Fenghuang Township Station. And the railway station in Fenghuang is very unique. As you can see, it is a stilted building. And the next station is Zhangjiajie. We used a lot of stone elements. And the next one is Jishou. The architecture symbolizes stability in its square shape. And as to Fenghuang Station, we have integrated the local mountains and waters into the construction of that railway station. As you can see, the rooftop is like it's getting to fly. And as to Maiyangxi West Station, it represents the mountains through the shape of the rooftop. Those 5 are all newly built stations, right? Yes. Speaking of Fenghuang Station, from the outlook of it, we are reminded of the stilted building. And I hear that Fenghuang Station is built right in the scenic spot. Yes, it's inside the scenic spot of the Fenghuang. You can get a shuttle bus from the scenic spot, and you arrive at Huangcun village. That village is called a 1,000-year-old village hanging from the fall. And as to Zhangjiajie Station, this is also the station residing in the mangrove forest. And you can also visit Maojie. And in Fenghuang Gucheng, it's also a well-known spot. So I can see that the Zhangjiajie high-speed railway line is going through a lot of golden spots. And I also hear it has another nickname, that is a high-speed railway line above the cloud. Why is that? because it goes through several mountains and waters, and the bridges and the railway tracks have been wrapped up by the clouds all year round. So that's why we say it's a high-speed railway line above the cloud. So does it need to go through a lot of tunnels and bridges? It is 254 kilometers. We have to blaze through a lot of bridges and mountains. There are 162 bridges in total crossed by this line, and there are 180 tunnels. The total length of the bridges is over 200 kilometers. So Zhangjiajie High-Speed Railway goes through a lot of tunnels and bridges, so it must be very challenging in the construction phase. Yes, indeed, since it has to go through about 16 scenic spots and natural preserves. In our construction phase, to better preserve the nature, we went through a lot of difficulties, particularly in the Liushui Bridge, so as not to damage the local water preserve. We put the line above the cliff. We hang this line at above 500 meters, and it spans over 150 meters on two sides, 292 in width, and the height is 150 meters. For Liushui Bridge and all the other bridges, our engineers and designers must have contributed a lot in the designing phase, and also they measured very delicately. I can hear the whistling. So, is this train ready to go? Yes, and this is the first train open today. For the passengers already on board, do you recommend to enjoy some of the key scenic spots along the line? Yes, on this train they can enjoy the beautiful sceneries, particularly in Liushui Bridge. 3 bridges were connected in that spot. And also there are tea parks. It is a refreshing experience. In Maiyang, this is the harvesting season for the oranges, so they can enjoy the beautiful natural scenery and also the stilted buildings in Miao and Tujia ethnicities and the temples. So it is indeed a golden railway line for the passengers. They can enjoy a lot of beautiful scenes along the way. And I am looking forward to jump on this train if I'm on vacation. Now the train is about to depart. The operation of this railway is a railway above the cloud. It's also a railway line for village rejuvenation. I hear that there used to be no high-speed railway before in Zhangjiajie. Yes, there are so many scenic spots in western Hunan province. It's very difficult to welcome the people and visitors from elsewhere. Now, with the improved transportation, they can access the scenic spots much easier. And for the locals in Zhangjiajie, they can go out more conveniently to experience the outer world. So the train is departing and driving. I can see a tunnel within our site. You have mentioned about so many bridges and tunnels and the difficulties of their construction. It must have taken a lot of time, but I think it's worth it. In Xiangxi and the surroundings, now with this railway line in place, there must be a better roadmap now. In Huaihua Land Station, it accesses to Fenghuang high-speed railway. So with this line ready, it connects the entire transportation network and make the west to east transportation more convenient. If we start from Jishou Station, for us to arrive at Changsha and Beijing and Shanghai, how much longer does it take? Since now the Zhangjiajie high-speed railway line can connect with Changsha, Nanning, Shenzhen, Shanghai, Beijing. So from Jishou Station to Beijing, it used to take over 20 hours, but now we can directly start from Jishou and arrive at Beijing Station for only 9 hours. So it greatly shortens the traveling distance. So previously for us to arrive at the metropolis, it took 1 to 2 days, but now it's only hours. So we make the traveling more convenient for people, and you're welcoming visitors from elsewhere. I remember that when I was young, I visited Furongzhen and Fenghuang Gucheng. The transportation used to be very complex. Could you introduce to us about the transportation modes before? To access Fenghuang Gucheng and Furongzhen, they firstly need to take a train to arrive at Zhangjiajie, and then they transfer to the buses to go to Fenghuang Gucheng. So now it's much more convenient. Furongzhen is directly linked with this railway station, and the opening of Zhangjiajie high-speed railway is a milestone. We heard so many benefits just now brought by this railway. We hope that with the precondition of COVID-19 prevention and control measures in place, more visitors could feel free to enjoy the beautiful sceneries along this line, and please feel free to enjoy the local customs and the local specialties. Thank you, Mr. Wang, for your time. With this manned high-speed railway from Zhangjiajie departing, our live show is approaching the end. We hope that with the opening of this railway, Xiangxi's economy will be boosted in a great way, and I hope that it will provide convenience for people nationwide or even in the world as a whole. Welcome to Xiangxi and experience the mystery of Xiangxi. And this is the end of today's show. See you next time. 能来到我们的这个大湘西，来领略我们神秘的湘西风情。好，今天的直播呢就先到这里，我们下次再见，谢谢。